Hello, today we've got the Icon Airframe Pro here, and we'll give it a review and a road test later on in the video. Six years. It took 6 years for Icon to come up with a new airframe, and what we have now is the Airframe Pro. They took their time for this, so let's hope it was well worth the wait. For example, we have this more aggressive style, as well as a 5-part inner liner we'll discuss later. This helmet has a recommended retail price of about €370, around $415 US, which will bring it into competition with the AGV K5, Shoei GTR2, Shark Spartan GT Carbon, as well as the HJC F70, so really more mid-range helmets. Just a reminder to make sure to check out and subscribe to our YouTube channel where we have plenty more reviews and road tests. As usual, let's start off with the shell. As I said before, it already has this much more aggressive look. It's because the chin has become longer so that the helmet is less convex, and the large ventilation opening in the brow has been replaced by smaller openings to make the helmet more aerodynamic and less loud, which was the downside of the previous airframe. The shell here is composite and weighs about 1,700 grams in a size XXL, so a bit on the heavier side, though if this is an issue, there's also a carbon shell version. This helmet has 4 shell sizes, which is good, since the more shell sizes you have, the more compact the helmet is, which means less unnecessary material and more comfort for you. If you look at the back, you can also see there's a cutout around the bottom of the helmet near the neck, which gives you a little bit more mobility, so it'll feel a bit more comfortable. The airframe is designed for people who need a more oval to intermediate oval head shape, since it has a more narrow fit. For ventilation, the Airframe Pro also improves on the airframe. In the chin, you've got this vent here, which you can just snap open and closed. In the brow, we've got 3 separate vents, which are replacing the previous airframe's 1 large vent. The 2 vents on the sides open to 3 different positions, and you've got this one on top here, which opens and closes. All this cool air will help push out the hot air, which will come out these exhausts here under the spoiler. If you look at the visor here, this is Icon's Icon Optics visor, and the first thing you might notice is that it is not pin lock prepared. It only has an anti-fog coating. So an anti-fog pin lock is more effective at preventing fog, but you can buy this separately for this helmet if you so wish. Taking off the visor is fairly simple. First, you need to open it all the way. We are very unimpressed with this large button there, since it makes it very difficult to open the visor with gloves. But to remove the visor completely, you just need to push this button here, and it should pop off on both sides. And there's the other button. You'll notice that it has these side panels attached to the visor. You'll just need to snap these off if you want to replace your visor. Putting them on again is also just as easy. You just snap them back on again. If you want to put the visor back on, you just need to make sure that it lines up on both sides of the helmet, and then they should snap in. And there you go. As I said before, for the lining for the Icon Airframe Pro, Icon have decided to split it into 5 different parts, so you're going to get more comfort since you have more customizability with what pads you can purchase. The pads are made of Icon's Hydro-Dry liner, which is moisture wicking and removable. So with that over with, let's see what's going on inside this helmet. First, you need to remove the cheek pads, which is fairly easy. You just have 3 buttons, and you need to thread it through the chin strap. The chin strap is double D-ring, which is good since it'll keep you in that helmet. The cheek pads look fairly thick, so they should offer a decent level of comfort, though it is a very Spartan helmet since you're basically just getting a basic liner here. Or in the words of our driver, it could have been shown a bit more love. So those are the cheek pads. Now you can take out the rest of the interior, and it should just pop out. Usually, the next 3 parts are one piece on most helmets, but Icon have split it up into 5. More padding, but there are still many holes between the different pads, so you should still get plenty of ventilation through the EPS channels. Looking at the EPS channels, you can see that they are fairly shallow and there aren't that many, but we'll see how well it ventilates out on the road. Just a quick reminder for how we set up our road tests. On the left, we've got a monitor that shows us the helmet's internal temperature based on a thermometer placed in the helmet's EPS channels. In the middle, there's a decibel meter taking measurements from a microphone placed near our rider's ear. On the right is a phone, which is measuring our wind speed. And lastly, in the middle, we've got our rider's speed in kilometers per hour and the outside temperature. During the ride, the temperature outside was about 15 degrees Celsius, and the wind speed was about 100 to 115 kilometers per hour. The helmet's internal temperature was about 14 degrees, so that's a degree cooler than the outside temperature, which is pretty good. For the helmet's noise level, the helmet clocked in at about a pretty loud 103 decibels. Our rider found the helmet fairly comfortable for a mid-range helmet, but that it was very sparse, and again, more love could have been shown to the liner. He found the ventilation to work very well despite having very small EPS holes and grooves. He was not very happy with the method for opening the visor and said it wasn't very user-friendly since it was impossible to open with gloves. But to finish off, he also found it to be fairly stable aerodynamically. This brings us to our star rankings. For material, this helmet's shell is composite, but since it comes in 4 shell sizes, that gives this helmet a surprising 4 stars. For weight, this helmet also did pretty average, so that's another 3 stars for a weight of about 1,700 grams. However, the visor was disappointing. Not only was it not pinlock prepared, but it was not user-friendly if you wanted to open it with gloves on, so we've given the visor 2 stars. For noise, this helmet didn't do very well either. With 104 decibels, this helmet gets another 2 stars. For ventilation though, this helmet did fairly decent again, giving it another 3 stars for a difference of about 1 degree Celsius. Lastly, for comfort, this helmet was unremarkable, though not bad, giving it 3.5 stars. This brings the Airframe Pro to a total of 3 stars, which gives the Airframe €21 per star, which is about right for a mid-range helmet, but it may be a bit high considering that this helmet is giving you the bare basics of the category as well as being difficult to work with. If you're interested in the Airframe Pro, you can find it in our webshop at championhelmets.com, where we have the lowest price guarantee and great bundle deals. With the purchase of this helmet, you now get a free dark visor as well, so don't forget to take a look. So with the Airframe, we've got a basic mid-range helmet. It's not really bringing you any super special features, but it won't do terrible on the road either. The liner was comfortable enough and it ventilated fairly well. Our biggest complaint would be about the visor opening peg and the Spartan liner, since both seem a bit basic for a more expensive helmet. But let us know what you think, and if you liked the video, be sure to subscribe. I'm Sebastian from Champion Helmets, and I'll see you next time.